Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to episode number 3 of my computer posture review series, Computer Posture Mistakes and Fixes. Thanks for joining me. I value your time and I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Quick note, just to get out of the way, the info in my presentation is not medical advice. It's based off of my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality sedentary lifestyle. Do your own research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own health care. Quick little background about me. Again, my name is Todd Bowen. My website is sittingposture.com. I've got a degree in information technology, so I've studied topics such as workplace ergonomics as well as user experience. I'm a lifelong athlete and exerciser. I've also lived a sedentary lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. Here's my website, sittingposture.com. Quick look at it, how to sit with good computer posture. If you want, you can go sign up for weekly email updates right here. I usually send email on Friday, only one email a week. Very rarely will I send a second email, but definitely never more than two. Usually on Fridays. If you want to download a free computer posture checklist, you can click here. And you can also reach all these links in the show notes of this video. Let's look at our first picture here. Right here, it looks like I like the big monitor here. The monitor height looks fine. I like the keyboard. The keyboard's nice. You can tell this is a model and a royalty-free photo because there's no mouse. So anyway, I would probably. I used to sit in a chair like this, and I can't tell from the way he's sitting, but I would think that his chair needs to be raised up a little bit, but that's probably going to cause an issue because these armrests are going to hit the table right there. You know, office chairs are not made specifically for us, and I wish they were. They're made way too wide, way too deep, and the armrests, in my opinion, cause issues. If he was to put his elbows on this armrest, the chair is so wide, what it's going to do is going to contract these muscles up in here, the trap muscles, and also on the front there's some very thin muscles called scalenes. I think they attach to the collarbone in the neck area. But anyway, he has to extend all those muscles just to rest his elbow on that armrest. I used to have a chair exactly like this. This chair looks familiar, and that caused all kinds of issues when I would use those armrests. I actually wrote an article on my website titled something, this was a couple years ago, titled something like how office chair armrests don't work for me. So you can check that out. And I'll try to put that in the show notes too if you want to look into that. But anyway, I do like the extended monitor here. I like the flat keyboard so he doesn't have to engage his wrist to lift it up on a bulky keyboard. His elbow is flared out to the side over here in order to rest himself. I know he's not in his typical sitting posture right now, but he's just trying to find some relief from that lower back pain. Moving on to the next photo, and real quick, I'm not affiliated with or compensated by any product sellers or manufacturers. You'll look here, these are obviously Apple products. I'm not compensated by Apple, they don't need my help to sell anything. I just talk about products that work for me in a good form and function. Here we've got a user. I say this all the time. If she's working in this position just for 15 or 20 minutes, that's one thing. That's cool. If she's traveling on a laptop, you know. But if she's working on this position for any extended period of time, for any amount of time a week or a day for that matter, I would definitely recommend getting an extended monitor that's permanent that will sit on her desk. They're not too expensive. And then it just takes a cheap little HDMI cable. She can plug it in here and plug it into her monitor. And then everything on this laptop screen right here will be up on her monitor here. And that will take her eye level from going straight down to straight across. What it'll also do is it'll take out this curvature in the top of the spine, in the thoracic area of the spine, called kyphosis. So when she's looking straight forward, it'll allow her to sit back. I actually like how she's using the back of this chair here as far as where her lower back is. So if she had that extended monitor, that would allow her to use the back of the chair as more support. However, I do think the chair is a little short for her. If there's a way that she could raise that, that would lift her elbows up just a little bit, and she wouldn't have to reach forward so much to use her computer. Here's a good one. She's got this looks like this, that's what she's doing. She's got her laptop here and she's extending it onto an external monitor, which I'm a big fan of. However, it's very far away. I would probably bring that closer. Looks like it might be a little bit low, but it's not too bad. But it's also at an angle. If she turns her body if she's typing here and she's turning to look at the monitor here, her body is twisting to the right, and that can cause all kinds of imbalances in the back muscles and spine and dysfunction and just muscle confusion. We don't want to twist and hold that twist for any long periods of time. Her chair, it looks like her chair. It's hard to tell with her elbows if her chair is high enough. Decent back support, but like I said, I'd bring this monitor closer and I would bring it straight on. I do like the keyboard here, flat keyboard. I like what she's got going on here, with the exception of those couple things. All right, here's a good one here. He's got the flat keyboard and the flat mouse, which I'm a big fan of. That'll reduce his possibility of getting carpal tunnel syndrome in his wrists, because when you get the big bulky keyboard and the big bulky mouse, and we have to engage our wrist to lift our hand up onto the keyboard and the mouse, that's what causes carpal tunnel. It's not necessarily the actual typing. I know I used to have a big bulky keyboard and I had bad carpal tunnel in my wrist. As soon as I started using a flat keyboard like this, it pretty much went away within a day or two. My pain did. I'm not saying that's the case for everybody, but that was my experience. I do like how he has the external monitor. I think he should bring this keyboard closer and bring the monitor closer. He has glasses on, so I'm not sure how that relates to why he's sitting so close to it. But if he brings the monitor closer towards him, then that may allow him to sit back a little bit. And just like the one user we talked about previously, that would take out this upper rounding of the spine, this slouching forward, if he could see the monitor better. I also don't really like the angle that this monitor is at. It's kind of strange. I think it should be more straight up and down. Not all the way straight up and down, but definitely not. It's almost at a 45-degree angle there. I can tell that it's probably an issue. It's probably causing an issue, making him lean forward more. You can see that his elbows are under the desk. That's definitely not good. That's causing a lot of tension in here. A lot of people call that tennis elbow. I've suffered from that before because my chair was too low and my elbows were below my desk, and these tendons in this elbow they're just engaged all day long. You know, if we sit at a computer 8 hours a day, that's 40 hours a week, 50 work weeks a year, so that's 2,000 hours a year. That's a long time to be holding your elbow like that, and it's a very tendinous area, so it's a very stubborn area, very strong. However, if you use it for a lot of repetitive strain like that, for long periods of time, it can get very stubborn and dysfunctional. Could be a lot of confusion in there, and of course, it's all attached to the biceps and the forearm muscles. And if the tendons are messed up, those muscles are going to be messed up. It's going to create confusion for them. Let's look over here. So we've got a couple examples of what not to do. This looks exactly like the guy we just looked at. He's got that monitor too low. Elbows are almost above the table. But if this monitor was higher and was a little closer to him, he would be able to sit back a little bit. It'll take out that upper rounding in the thoracic area of the spine. His feet are flat on the floor. That's very good. Let's move ahead to the second photo. You'll notice here that his elbows are lower and his chair is lower. That's even worse. So this position right here is actually a better position than this one if we had to pick the lesser of two evils. His elbows are below the desk. That's not good. They need to be up here so his forearms are parallel to the floor. His thighs are not parallel to the floor, which they are parallel to the floor here, which is a decent thing over here. Being at this angle here is not good at all. You can tell this guy's chair is definitely too low. You can see that his knees are bent at more than a 90-degree angle in the wrong direction. See, his knees are more than a 90 degree, this would be more than a 90-degree angle. This would probably be considered as less than a 90-degree angle. So this is definitely not good. That's putting even more strain and activation on the knee tendons, which is a whole thing: patellar tendon, quad tendon. I can't remember the name of the tendon in the back of the knee, but there's tendons back there too. So when these are compressed in the back, these are overextended in the front. When we hold that position for a long period of time, that creates all kinds of muscle confusion. Just like in the elbow, it attaches to the quad muscles. There's 4 of those. Hamstrings, I think there's 3 of those. Quads, calves. There's a couple of those, and there's also a muscle along the front of the foot called the tibialis that lifts the toes up and down. So all those are getting affected here by this simple knee movement right here. Just by his chair being too low. If he raised his chair up, that would solve a lot of stuff. So go over here and you can see that he's got the good knee angle. His thighs are parallel to the floor. His forearms are parallel to the floor. I don't like this angle right here, though, I'll be honest. I would want to sit a little closer to the desk. That would bring in the angle of his upper arm there. I think the elbow should be right there, maybe a little bit in front of the body, but not that much. That's too far. They should hang naturally by the sides, in my opinion. You can tell the monitor is raised here. It's not as low as it is in either one of these, so he's got that right. He's looking straight ahead to the top of the monitor and slightly down at the bottom of the monitor. So that's it for that picture. Over here, looks like she is using an extended monitor, which is very good. She's got the big extended monitor. It's way back in the back of her desk, which again, I think is a huge catalyst for her slouching forward like that. Maybe it's the posture causing it, but I'm pretty sure that when someone has something there, that their first tendency is to lean forward to be able to read it. But if you bring that a lot closer, if it was like right here, that would allow her to naturally sit back a little bit. If it does, I would and once she does that, I would lift the chair up just a little bit, because these elbows right here, they look below the desk slightly. And what that's doing, we talked about this a few slides ago, that's engaging those elbow tendons a little too much. And those muscles over a 40-hour period in a week will get overused quickly. She's got a flat keyboard, which is good, but she's got a big bulky mouse. It's a wireless mouse, which is good. She's not using her laptop mouse or her laptop keyboard, but I would definitely try to find something flatter than that, so she doesn't have to engage her wrist to lift her hand onto that mouse multiple times a day, probably dozens of times a day, maybe even 100 or so, a couple hundred. Looking over here, it's hard to tell. You can't really see her setup, but you can tell she's in some pain. She does have the external monitor. You can tell she's got the laptop here and the external monitor here. That's about all we can tell from this photo, but one positive here, she's got the external monitor right there. Here's a good one, no external monitor. I used to get pain right here all the time. It's probably from looking down at her computer, but it's probably also from reaching forward. Like, you can tell that she's not taking advantage of the back support on her chair. And that's probably because the armrests, if she did take advantage of the back support, it's probably because the armrests won't go under the table. Looks like they might slide under there, but anyway, she's not taking advantage of the back support. She's not using an external monitor. I would change both of those. I would also put on an external keyboard here, flat one, external mouse. This pain might right here be caused by having to hold use this mouse pad in the center of the laptop as a mouse instead of using an external mouse. That could be what's causing that pain back there in the trap area. And I'd also lift this chair up just a little bit. Her elbow looks like it's going to hit that table, so she's probably engaging those elbow tendons a little too much. Here's a good one, flat keyboard. I like that. Extended monitor. I like that. A little bit of a bulky mouse. She does have a wireless mouse though, which I like. The thing about this monitor is I don't like how it's straight ahead. She may be receptionist or something like that, so she might not be able to have a big monitor blocking her because maybe there's a doorway here for customers or clients to enter, and she can't have a monitor blocking her. Maybe, I don't know. But I definitely don't like the way that this is at an angle because that's going to cause her to twist. It's probably why I know this is a model and a royalty-free image, but it's probably what's causing that pain on that side of her neck for her to look this way at the monitor all day long. It's causing dysfunction in the back of the neck, and it's probably why she's looking for some pain relief there on the back right side of her neck. Here's a good one. Definitely wouldn't recommend this chair. Big bulky keyboard here and a big bulky mouse. She does have an extended monitor. However, it looks a little bit low. I'd put a monitor riser underneath it, or you don't even have to buy one of those. Just get a couple hardcover books and put them under there if you want to save some money. And the chair, she definitely needs something with a back support. And she's got her stuff at an angle also. I know she's got a notebook here and calculator that she's using, but I would not let that change the way of my ergonomic setup of my keyboard, of my technology. My keyboard at an angle, mouse way over here, and monitor also at an angle. That's going to cause all kinds of dysfunction in the back and the neck when she has to twist to view this monitor. Here's a decent setup here. It's hard to tell if how a user lines up with it because you can't see them, but I do like the flat keyboard, like the flat mouse. It's got a wrist support here, which is nice. It's a very small desk, even though this monitor, it's on a riser, and it's all the way at the back of the desk. Even though it's at the back of the desk, it's a small desk, so I like how I would think that if someone was sitting here, they wouldn't have to lean forward just to read the screen. And it's an Apple monitor, so it's a big screen. It's an extended monitor off their laptop, so you can tell that I'm a big fan of this instead of looking at their laptop screen. I do like this setup. I like this setup a lot. Here's another one, same thing. You can tell by the background picture that they extended their monitor. I'm not sure how they did it. They don't have an HDMI cable. I guess they did it wirelessly somehow. But I would definitely push this thing out of the way a little bit. The iPad, I would definitely move that over here and stand that up. I don't know, maybe they're currently using them, so it has to be right there. But for long periods of time, I definitely wouldn't want to sit like that. It's got the flat keyboard. It's got the flat mouse. It's got the extended monitor. Without being able to see the user in the chair, I definitely like a lot of things about this setup. Oh, and here's one more picture I wanted to go over. Obviously not a great position here, but it is tempting after sitting at a desk for 40 hours a week, slouch forward. I used to sit like this sometimes when I would get home or work from home, just to balance out, just to counteract that slouching forward. It's like it's kind of like an up dog position in yoga. But the problem was that it caused a lot of tension in my head and neck, and in my neck and up into my head. This is just a little too much. It's a good position to be in for a few minutes, but I made the mistake of working in that position just like she's doing here. I don't remember how long I worked in it, but I wouldn't work in it too long at a time, 15 or 20 minutes. But even that, it was a little too much. If I'm going to be in this position and counteracting that slouching forward that I've been sitting at a computer desk all week, I'm going to do this on the floor when I'm working on my breath work, not when I'm on a laptop. So speaking from experience here, this caused a lot of issues for me, even though it may be tempting to kind of counteract that spine and still get something worthwhile done on your computer. So be very careful with something like this. So thanks everybody for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a huge step forward in improving the quality of your life, and that is something to be proud of. I got a ton of resources on the internet as well, in addition to this YouTube channel. Sign up for weekly email updates at my website, sittingposture.com/newsletter. Like I said earlier in this video, I only send out one email a week, usually on Fridays. Very rarely I'll send out a second email. Normally I am sending some kind of article I've written, or maybe a YouTube video that I've posted, or some kind of content that will help improve computer posture. And all these links are down in the show notes. Next free resource, download a free computer posture checklist. You can do that at sittingposture.com/checklist. I try to make the sitting computer posture as easy as possible in an easy to understand and easy to implement actionable process. And I turned it into a PDF and I give it away for free at sittingposture.com/checklist. And finally, free resource that you're already aware of since you're here. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@sittingposture. Make sure you put that @ sign in there. Otherwise, it may not get to my channel. And the more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to create more videos. So do me a favor, if you've learned something from this video, if it helped you out at all, do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to my channel, or even if you're generous enough to forward this video to your family or friends that sit at a computer desk for a long period of time. I would be forever grateful for that. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next video. Thanks a lot. Take care.